What's going on, everyone? Welcome to our podcast, Balls In. My name is Ben.
And my name is Nick.
And this is our brand new podcast, again, Balls In, where we're going to be talking about 3 specific sports. These are the sports I'm personally most passionate about. Nick likes baseball. I don't watch baseball, to be honest with you. But we're going to be talking about football, American football, soccer, also known as football, and we're going to be talking about basketball, which is one of our first topics today, right, Nick?
Of course. So we're going to be talking about the season opener. We're both Lakers fans, so it's probably going to be mainly about Lakers, even though we'll kind of mix in different teams from throughout the league. We kind of just want to focus on the Lakers right now. But I mean, Ben can go ahead and take or pretty much just give you a rundown of how the game went. He was actually there, so he got to witness it firsthand. Ben, why don't you go ahead and let us know exactly how we looked?
Man, I got to tell you guys, we started off the quarter strong. We were up, 14-2 before they made their second bucket, which was late in the first quarter. So we looked really strong at first. We looked too big for them, to be honest with you. You know, Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee, LeBron James, Dwight Howard came in on the bench, off the bench. Boogie's hurt right now. We looked really good based off of the first quarter, but then after that, you really started seeing the depth of the Clippers, I think.
Definitely. There's definitely some shooters on that team.
Exactly, and they're well coached. That's my biggest take right here, to be honest with you guys, is that we have a brand new team here.
And a brand
with
new
the Lakers.
coach. Actually, Frank Vogel is his first season as our head coach. Don't really know too much about him. They took Frank Vogel over Tyronn Lue, so I'm kind of iffy about that. I was hoping Lue would come back to coach LeBron.
And you know what? I have to 100% agree with you on that one. Why not pick Ty Lue? You know, he already had the championship blood with LeBron in the Cavaliers. You know, it just didn't make sense to me. But some of the stuff I've been seeing on YouTube is that a lot of people were thinking that the reason why they didn't pick Tyronn Lue is because they didn't want it to be all LeBron'd out in Los Angeles,
like it was in Cleveland. That's a very good point to bring up, because I mean, LeBron did have a lot of say in what the Cleveland Cavaliers did, and mainly because Tyronn, come on, he kind of had Tyronn Lue by the tie, if I'm not gonna
exactly
some way.
So that's right. You know, I 100% agree with you. But let's see. You know, like I'm mentioning, the Clippers are established already. You know, we're talking about a team that took the Warriors to 6 games with Kevin Durant without a superstar. They did give up some pieces, but you know, what did they give up for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? Man. That's definitely excited as a Laker fan. We wanted Kawhi to get, you know, in a Lakers jersey, obviously.
This is true.
But man, I'll be honest with you guys, I think this place is better. I don't know about what Nick thinks, but for me, I feel like the competition is just so even throughout the NBA. We're going to be in for a crazy season.
I agree. I'm definitely thinking playoffs. Probably a deep push in the playoffs this year. Hopefully a championship, but I mean, you know, the Western Conference is just so stacked, bro.
I'm going on the record, we're going to win the championship this year.
I agree with you on that.
I have to tell you that. You know why? Because
as a fan, I will agree with you.
We're pretty biased here, we have to say.
Of course, yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, as of right now, without seeing the season unfold, of course, we're going to see a lot unfold during the season. I'm thinking 76ers, Clippers, or Lakers. Those are the strongest teams I see, at least.
I agree.
You want to throw anyone else in there?
I agree with you. I don't necessarily think the Warriors will make as strong as a push as they have been.
They said Klay wasn't coming back either.
Klay's not coming back this season. And then Toronto, I mean, if you don't have Kawhi, don't get me wrong, they played a hell of a game last night too against the Zion-less Pelicans team. But I don't think they'll end up back there. So I would say I would throw in the Warriors because it's the Warriors. Steph Curry is a monster.
Maybe the Rockets?
The Rockets too. They have
a nice squad.
Westbrook and Harden. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. I was watching the Astro games the other night. Bro, I got to show you exactly what had happened when the pitcher threw a pitch. They were standing right.
Oh, I saw that video. Hold on.
That was
for those of you watching on YouTube, we'll throw on the video right here.
Definitely, so you can see it. It's freaking hilarious. There may have been some drugs involved. I mean, I could see myself doing the same.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys probably see it on the video. For those of you seeing on YouTube, if you're on the podcast, make sure to check out the video that we have for today's podcast. That's youtube.com/BenMoVlogs. BenMoVlogs. And this is a good time to actually bring in our sponsors for today's video.
Definitely. So first sponsor is Benjamin Garcia Real Estate. Ben pretty much handles everything that he has to do for our real estate needs. And then of course myself, I would be sponsoring the video as well.
There we go.
So this is a real estate dream team right here.
So sponsored by Ben and Nick for all your home buying and selling needs.
Definitely.
Any questions, feel free to give us a call.
Definitely.
Now that we have the sponsors out of the way, let's get back into the podcast.
Of course.
So here's the thing with the Laker-Clipper game. Now that we went left field, let's get back to the Laker-Clipper game. Here's the thing. We scored 25 points in the first quarter. 29 in the second, 31 in the third, and we scored 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Just came up short. I'm pretty sure it was a high intensity game throughout. Very high intensity game. I mean, it was literally a battle of LA. You can see it forming, the rivalry.
It was crazy.
I mean, just the past couple of years, there's always been a rivalry between the Clippers and the Lakers. But I mean, just with the added superstar talent on both teams, you can just feel the atmosphere. I mean,
we're in for a hell of a year. And yes, it seems so even at the Staples Center. When I was walking in from the streets, it looked Lakered out. I didn't think it was a Clippers game. It was a Laker game. When we got in there, the noise really reflected both sides being pretty even. Like, there was a lot of Lakers fans, but there was a lot of Clippers fans in there. They have a good support system. A lot of bandwagons, too. That's a different discussion.
A lot of Kawhi jerseys?
A lot of Kawhi jerseys, exactly. But the point with the 17 points that the Lakers merely put up on the fourth quarter is because the Clippers really stepped up their defense in the fourth quarter.
This is true.
On top of that, Anthony Davis and LeBron James scored 32 points combined in the first half, 10 for 22 from the field. In the second half, they put up 11 points combined. LeBron and AD.
Man, it's because Danny Green was going on. Danny Green went off in that third quarter.
Exactly.
He had multiple three-point field goals.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly what the Lakers need to make a championship push. Someone that's going to get hot throughout the second or the third quarter. So when LeBron and AD come in the fourth, they're supposed to close.
Exactly.
That's my issue right now.
Closers, I agree.
Because we had the game close in the third quarter. What was it, 85-85 going into the fourth quarter? But we need to close. So
it was game one. I feel like they're still kind of getting used to each other. I mean, they had what, a summer together? That's pretty much it. So about 3 months.
Not even. I heard they went overseas. They were playing overseas.
Oh, were they?
I don't know. That's what I was hearing today. I think the moral of the story is hold your horses. Pump the brakes. You know, the Clippers winning the game isn't anything.
It's game one.
It's the first game of the season.
It's game one. We had a really strong showing. I mean, compared to last year's team, we were definitely making a huge difference. Definitely making a strong push.
So that's our take, guys. We think the Lakers are ultimately going to get it together. Everybody's still figuring themselves out. I have to bring this up. KCP, 27 minutes, 0 points, 0 assists, 5 fouls, and a turnover.
He is not Josh Hart. If we could have made a trade that involved KCP rather than Josh Hart, I would have been so much happier.
And you know what? I think they both have their pros to agree and disagree with you because KCP is a strong defensive-minded player.
True.
But Josh Hart is young. He was getting there, in my opinion.
So much upside to that guy.
What I do like about KCP, to disagree with you, is his free throw shooting.
He's a good free throw shooter.
And his defense.
He's at least an 80% free throw shooter. He gives it his all on defense. But as we were talking about before the podcast, how would you feel about Jamal Crawford coming over from Phoenix?
Oh, my God. And then earlier in the summer, talk about Iguodala. But man, I think Crawford, that would be it right there.
I think that would be a really good bench player coming off the bench, of course, to shoot those threes, pretty much distribute the ball. I mean, he's a shooter.
Exactly.
He's a shooter. He's been 6th man of the year so many times, especially with the Clippers. You know, just seeing him in LA with the Clippers, he would go off at the best times. That's what we need.
Let me bring this up too. I'm still very disappointed we traded Lou Williams to the Rockets.
I agree.
I don't know why we don't have him in the squad still. Imagine Lou Williams on that squad right now.
He's a definite difference maker.
He's a walking 20 points.
He is. Easy bench points.
We'll see. You know, we'll be following them through the season.
Of course.
Clippers are obviously going to be in the fight. They're probably the favorites right now because they have the established team.
You think a full LA Western Conference final?
Oof, that would be crazy. Imagine the atmosphere in Los Angeles.
Goodness gracious.
For those couple of weeks. Oh my goodness.
Those are games that I would definitely stay home to watch.
That's really, I think that what everyone's really looking forward to is that playoff series.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's in the semifinals of Western Conference or the finals, that's the thing. I don't know where we're going to be seated. And this is the thing about LeBron being MVP. I think that we're not really focused on the regular season.
No, definitely not.
I think we're more focused on the playoffs. So to say LeBron's going to be the MVP, that means he'd have to have more pudding on top of the numbers he's had throughout his career.
Of course.
Which means more energy throughout the season, which means more on his back and decreasing the longevity of his game.
I think that may have been the case last year. This year, I mean, obviously, like we were talking about, there's more of a supportive cast for him. So I'm thinking that AD, Dwight Howard, the new kid Avery Bradley, even with Kuzma coming back off of injury, there's enough to go around. There's enough firepower to go around to where we can, you know, say, hey, LeBron, listen, we're gonna win these games. We just need to get to the playoffs. Once the playoffs comes, it's LeBron time.
Exactly.
Last year, it was LeBron time the whole time. And by the end of the season, he trains like a beast. That guy's a monster.
Puts a lot in his body, but he's human.
He could have been depleted at the end of the year, which, resulted in us not making the playoffs.
Father Time's undefeated.
Definitely.
Is what I have to say.
This is true.
Let's see. Let's see how the season goes. We actually also have some Champions League going on right now.
Oh man, the games yesterday and the games today are ridiculous. Liverpool is putting out an awesome outing. Tottenham putting out an awesome outing. It is gonna be. I love Champions League, to be quite honest with you, bro. That is literally the best football on the planet.
So many great teams from different countries, from the best nations, continents. The best continents in the world,
of course.
European football. So, I think that's going to be even crazier when the playoffs come up.
Definitely. Knockout stage is definitely going to be ridiculous. It usually always is.
It usually always is, exactly.
Always is. I mean, you see teams like Ajax, who made a run last year to just lose in the semifinals on a Lucas Moura, shooting spree. That guy went nuts.
Comeback game.
Went nuts. I mean, Liverpool ended up taking it. Liverpool's looking strong again. They had a really good outing yesterday.
That's the fun thing about Champions League is that with basketball, what we're talking 3-4 teams.
Yeah.
But the Champions League is like who's gonna survive?
The best teams out of every league in Europe, bro. That's the best part about Champions League. I would say Champions League and then World Cup.
Oof.
I would have to say that, brother. I would.
You kind of do. The World Cup is the most famous and is the most watched. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
But competition-wise, like you're saying, I think it is the Champions League.
I think it's Champions League.
Because with the international fixtures, you're seeing people from the best from one country, as opposed to with the Champions League with these regular football clubs.
It's an all-star team.
It's an all-star team of every single country.
The best money teams can buy.
We're going to have a lot more Champions League coming. We're going to have a lot more football talk. Actually, that's one of the last topic we're going to be having today, football. And again, basketball. Basketball is something that's huge right now just because I think the competition is a lot more with basketball right now. I think with American football right now, we're seeing a lot of bottom feeder teams, a lot of just shitty teams, to be honest with you. We got the Redskins, we got the Bengals, we got the Dolphins.
Oof.
Who else do we got that's not doing great? A lot of teams that are doing not so hot.
A lot of mediocre teams in the NFL
Mediocre
right now.
is a better word.
You can see there's a huge break off from the contenders, obviously.
New England, Green Bay is not in the same atmosphere as
right. I mean, the Niners are a surprise team this year. They're just balling out of control. That defense is ridiculous. That's one thing that the top two teams have in common. The Niners and the Patriots, their defense is ridiculous right now, playing off the charts. We don't usually talk about fantasy, but I mean, as far as fantasy points, those are the two top defensive teams that are putting in most of the points.
Oh man, New England's crazy. But I'll be honest with you guys, New England has had a not so frightening schedule.
This is true.
They played some
I'll have to
mediocre. Their division is pretty mediocre. That's a whole different talk though. The last thing we want to talk about is Thursday night football's fixture between talking about the bottom feeder / dookie teams.
Redskins and Vikings.
The
Vikings
Redskins
are a pretty strong team though.
No, the Vikings are strong. I'm talking about the Redskins. Why do we have to go through that on a Thursday?
To be quite honest with you, most fixtures on Thursday are
shitty.
Are the terrible? I mean, not terrible, but are the mediocre teams. It's
That's
Sunday
true.
night football and Monday night football.
That's
that
true. That's
get
true.
the most attention.
But it's just that there's one game, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Don't hurt my heart, Benjamin, because usually the Titans play on Thursdays. Big Titans fan here. It was a hell of a win this week. Beat the Chargers.
Don't want to get on Nick's bad side here, but
barely.
Why do the Titans play on Thursday?
Why do the Titans play on Thursday? I have no idea.
What was your logic right now?
I have no idea. We're a mediocre team, Benjamin. I just told you.
I know. I just wanted to hear it again.
Damn. Hey, we played you guys on Thursday a couple years ago, okay? And we got smashed. It was a bad game.
We did great prime time. And I'm a Steelers fan, Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So those are our teams for basketball. Obviously, both Lakers fans, football, American football. Titans fan, Steelers fan. And then for football, which is soccer here in the U.S.
I love the sport, brother.
PSG, love all the team. I'm a Barca / Chivas fan.
I pretty much just love the game. It's never had a set team of who I actually cheered for, except for PSG. I will go for PSG. I just want to see the beautiful game played right, bro.
So what I want to start doing, I haven't even told Nick about this, is I want to start having some friendly bets every single time we do a podcast, YouTube channel. What do you think the point difference is going to be between the Vikings and the Redskins?
Ooh, I say Vikings pretty big.
What would you predict?
I would say probably like a 10-point spread.
Like easy. A 10-point?
I say they win by 10.
I'm gonna have to one up you by a lot. I think they'll win by more than 20.
No way. Okay.
So let's see. Whoever's closer, loser.
Vice beer. Got you.
Oh, there we go.
Mr.
Friendly
Taco.
bet. A case. Oh, even better.
Mr. Taco.
So Mr. Taco. For all my Inland Empire viewers, which might be most of you guys, might not be most of you guys, Mr. Taco is a spot.
Yeah, Mr.
Point
Taco
blank.
off of Alabama Street. Come see us all the time. We're pretty much there every
We
Tuesday.
are.
bro. Taco Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday!
For real though, that's the spot. Okay, that sounds good.
Bro, I have Dalvin Cook and Stephon Diggs on my
Oof.
fantasy team. I'm gonna need those guys to put up some numbers.
So
no
what-
Adam Thielen this week. No Adam Thielen this
Oof.
week.
Well, that's good for Diggs because he's
Yeah.
going to be getting more targets.
I agree.
At the same time, he's going to be getting more attention from that ferocious Redskins
I
defense.
think I wouldn't say they're so ferocious. That front line is a pretty good front line, but I mean the Vikings offensive line is no,
Jokingly.
Yeah, they're,
The Redskins, yeah, you guys
they're
are.
no slouches, bro.
Your fantasy football players are in for a
I'm
heyday if you're lucky.
Dalvin Cook needs to go off. I'm telling you. Don't get me wrong. I'm for the Redskins as well. I had to pick up the rookie Terry McLaurin from Ohio State. He's a pretty good little rookie, bro. That
Solid
fool-
pickup right there,
He,
exactly.
he
You
definitely.
need those sleeper pickups.
Yeah, he definitely's been coming through. Not last week against the Niners because it's the freaking Niners, but
Dude,
and
they're
it was
playing.
pouring too, bro. Did you catch that game? Nick Bosa and everybody was sliding in the rain.
Oh, yeah, I did
literally,
see
like,
that. I just put on red zone
4 or
all day.
5 yards. That looked like a fun game to play though. Could you imagine hitting somebody in a puddle?
I hope that explains why they put up 0 points in the first half against the Redskins.
Yeah. I mean, playing in the rain, snow.
0 touchdowns, may I add.
I mean, it was 9-0, bro. Nobody put up touchdowns. It was a field goal kind
But
of
we
game.
expect that from the Redskins, Nick.
I'm
We're
just
talking about
trying
the
to say,
49er team.
It was literally there was puddles all over the field. It was pouring friggin' rain. Jimmy Garoppolo could barely hang on to the ball. The weather plays a factor in games.
I have an important question for you, Nick.
Yes, sir.
So, let's say
Mm-hmm.
that the Seattle Seahawks
Mm-hmm.
were playing the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be okay with them putting up 0 points in the first half?
The Seahawks have Russell Wilson, who can run. They have a decent running game. San Francisco doesn't necessarily have the running game that the Seahawks do.
Here's my issue. We're talking about a San Francisco team that's on top of the division, and some are saying maybe better than the Seahawks right now, with an established Russell Wilson with championship experience. So my question would be, would we be okay with the Seahawks playing the Redskins and putting up 0 touchdowns
I would
on
say
the floor
no.
and in the air?
I would say no. I would expect some points, but
So I'm just trying to say, let's have the same expectations for the undefeated teams.
okay.
That's all I'm
Alright.
trying to say.
I will agree with that.
That's all
I
I'm
will
trying to
agree
say,
with that.
so-
See, Tom Brady would have scored points.
You see, that was a more exaggerated example,
Tom
so
Brady
I
would've
didn't
scored
want
points.
to use New England.
They would have found a way to at least score a touchdown, like they did in the Super Bowl. I mean, that was literally a defensive game
Well,
that they found a way to score, and it was because Gronk.
with New England, we're talking about a team that's allowed, 3 touchdowns all season?
Man, they're ridiculous. Their point differential is ridiculous, bro.
So, let's see. NFL is going to be super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be covering it, coming in with videos, podcasts, again, episode 1
We're
of
already
Balls
halfway
In.
through, right?
of the
Halfway through
NFL season,
We're
yeah.
about to be week 8, right?
Exactly. So that's why we needed to get this shit going ASAP because
Definitely.
the NFL system, the NFL schedule's like,
This season's gone by so quick, bro.
exactly.
This is why I'll never play fantasy ever again. Nah, that's not the reason why.
But February comes and then we get sad until September.
I know, because then we're kind of stuck with baseball. And don't get me wrong, baseball is cool. I love going to Angel games and love seeing the Dodgers lose, but,
Show us your cup, Nick.
definitely miss football. I'm not showing you. I'm drinking.
It looks like this one, they're saying.
No, it does not. I'm drinking a bang right now.
And
I'll drink from
show
it.
the people.
I feel like a loser now. Choked
Okay.
a little bit.
I really, appreciate you guys checking in our very first episode of Balls In. Again, bringing you American football, soccer, also known as football, and basketball. Nick, anything you want to tell anyone listening?
I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you can, please drop a like button if this is going on YouTube. If you can, subscribe to the page and just check us out on a weekly basis. Share it, whatever you guys can do.
Much appreciated. We'll have giveaways coming soon.
Definitely.
For those of you who are helping us share, do some shout outs, some giveaways. Who knows? If the channel gets big enough, start giving away some tickets.
Of course.
Ooh.
We're in for constructive criticism as well. So if
Please.
you want to throw something in the comment bar, let us know what you want to hear. We'll talk about it. We're also going to have some special guests throughout the couple of podcasts, introduce a couple of other people.
We also will be going live on Instagram with podcasts going forward, videos going forward. Instagram for myself would be at ben.german. For Nicolas.
It would be at Nick Warriors 91.
And I'm not sure if he'll be Instagram living it, but I said I was gonna do it right now. I just forgot. So once we start building up viewers and people actually tuning into the Instagram live and not having 0 viewers, we'll probably start taking like, you know, some questions, some calls, stuff like that. That'll be awesome to get some opinions.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to some Clippers fans. You know what I mean?
Maybe not some Clippers fans.
Yeah, we will have some discussions today.
We have a couple of Clippers fans actually.
We do have a friend.
We have a couple.
You know, not everyone's perfect, Jimmy. Jimmy's actually going to be on the podcast soon. We'll talk about those Clippers. We'll talk about them Cowboys, who are 4-3 now. And Jimmy is also a Cowboys fan. So again, you know, we all have our defects, you know.
The moral of it is we do have some more content coming. It's not just going to be me and Ben. Like I said, we're going to introduce more people, get a couple more personalities on here for you guys to, you know,
check it out, all that good stuff.
Chill with, vibe from. Definitely.
Jimmy, all love. I'm just messing with you now. We'll have you on the show. We'll have Jay on here, talk about the Cowboys.
And the 2 meatballs.
The 2 meatballs. So yeah, thank you again. You know, we really do appreciate any comments below. We'll talk to you guys. We'll talk sports down below. You know, we're willing to go back and forth on the comment section. And again, you know, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.